it blind just to get to the spot where I caught the fish the other day. But that's my 7.5 inch wake bait. And I restrung several of my reels um, because Cast King line sucks. Never ever buy Cast King line. I apologize. In the past, when I was, I didn't know any better. And then when I spoke out, they fired me. It's really bad line. So, all right, we'll got you on that. Oops, sorry, guys. Put my measuring stick over here, maybe somewhere. All right, we're not going straight now, but we're going straight now. Heading over to Sunset on the rocks buoy, where it says beware of rocks. That's where I caught them. So it's like there's a couple guys over there in kayak, so no big deal. We'll shock them with a 7.5 inch big old giant bait. It's the other rod I restrung yesterday, so I'm gonna put a bait on here. Oh, my son always complained about my tackle box because it's 15 boxes. He's 3,700. Yeah, it was about, I don't know. But anyway, this is it. This is the new one. And he did a really cool thing by wrapping that around the back of the seat. So that's pretty smart, Russell. Good job. So we're going to go with my finesse. I did label these. These are 3,600 boxes. You go from 15 3,700 boxes down to 5 3,600s and 1 37 because big baits. Well, you just gotta, you just gotta do that. I guess we'll see how it works out. I kind of feel a little naked today. So kind of weird, but I'm going to put this little wake bait on it because it's topwater fishing, right? Still nothing's jumped up and hit that bait yet. So we haven't caught nothing yet. We just launched, and we keep me in a straight line. One thing about pontoons, like as my weight shifts, so does the direction that boat goes. You really don't go in a straight line unless I am a statue. Oh, all right, grab this one. I'm gonna do a few little pops on this on the way over. We're in 12 feet of water. It's pretty much where it's going to be all the way over to this buoy on the other side. So I really don't expect a whole lot of hits until we get about another 300 or 400 yards. We're only going about 1.4 miles an hour. I'm just trolling this big old giant thing, and I gotta watch. You gotta watch out. This is a big bait for eagles. You do not want to catch an eagle. So we have a lot of ospreys and bald eagles on this lake. So I don't see them right now, but you hear their little chirping, and you look up and you reel this thing in before they dive on it because, I mean, my net will net an eagle, but you just don't want to wrestle them. You don't want to hurt the eagle. You almost want to play an eagle like you do a big fish. You need to tire them out, and then bring them in and cut the line off them and remove the hook, so they have no fight left in them. I know it sounds weird, but that's what you do with eagles because they got sharp beaks and talons, and you just don't want to get down. You don't want to get injured, and at the same time still save the bird. So if you just sort of let them tire out for 30 minutes, I know it sounds cruel, but it is for your safety and the bird's safety, because they'll allow you scoop them up if they're tired out. So it's a beautiful morning, nice, and it's crystal clear out on the lake. The lake is glass right now. Very little ripples, which is, you want some ripples, very little. I mean, you can see the reflection of Mount McLaughlin, Mount Brown here, and uh, it's just this is a picture perfect morning. Now, I got out here late because, that's the way I do it. Bring my son to work. He will not get up so I can get out here at 5:30. But so 7:30 is what I shoot for, which is when he clocks it. But I still catch my share of fish. You just got to be more patient, I guess. So we have a jointed jerk bait down here, paddle tail. We have two topwater wake baits, both finesse, two different sizes. And I've got my craw. Oh, something else I want to try too. I got craw scent. I want to try putting a craw scent on that craw that I made. Tony Redemption, No Redemption Fish Outdoors. Want you to check out his um, channel. Good guy, Tony is. We've traded a lot of stuff, and we're going to be sending him a box here in another week or so. This week I got to paint some more finesse baits. We're going over some really good vegetation right now. Again, remember I told you this is like 9 to 12 feet all the way across. So right here is a really good area um, for bass to be hiding out in. So shh, I think rabbit. Here comes the bait's going to be moving over it in a few seconds. We'll do a couple pops. See if I can get one to jump up on it. It's trolling right behind. Going over it right now. I didn't see anything on the food finder, but one thing about tall vegetation, fish do hide in it really well. So you never know. You guys hear me say the same things over and over and over and over again. But fish finders are really good at telling you what's under you. Not necessarily fish, but so it should say bush finder, cover finder, topography map. I mean, you do smart fish hide in the bushes. There's a fish or two. There we just went over. Not a real big, maybe a pound and a half. So you do see them, and that kind of gets you a ready, set, go type of thing. So let's see if we can get his. They got to be big fish to hit this thing. You know, pound and a half would be minimum. Although we did get some sub 1 pounders hit it on Saturday, but they were suicidal. You can smell people's campfires right now. And they get their bacon going. Bacon, something about bacon and at a camp, morning camping. It's just, that's perfect, right? Morning bacon. I don't eat breakfast. You know what? I wondered how I got so fat, but it was a lot of brain damage. I have brain damage. And this last MRI discovered what's called an empty cellus. Now, 35% of the people have empty cellus, but mine actually, I'm like in that 1 percentile that has effects from it, complex migraines. And it controls your pituitary gland, which controls your metabolism, which Mine is slowed down so much that I got that. Come on. All right, so we're coming into that rich area here for bass. I'd expect a few hits over here. So hopefully in the next 15 minutes, we'll have one or two bass get in the boat. I know. One thing about fishing a lake is the same lake as often as I do is that you learn the lake. And that's a really tall, plant down there. I'm just seeing some smaller fish down here, and they're probably bass. Also, a lot of perch down here too, and perch. I mean, these hooks are big. These are number fours on this bait, so they big hooks. Waiting for that explosion. Still can see. I'm trolling it behind me, so but it's over right there. Probably should be right about there. So if you see an explosion, a splash, then it's me. So that's me popping it. So we're in that area. So Saturday I ran out of power because I didn't charge my battery Friday. Like I said, I did buy some craw scent, so I want to try that on my craw. I think it's ultra realistic. Probably catch a stupid catfish. Come on, we're coming up to you. When you fish a 7.5 inch bait, which is the biggest bait I've ever fished with, and the biggest bait I've ever obviously caught a fish with, you really narrow down. Oh, there we go. We got one. There we go. All right. We got 50-pound test on this, so we're not too worried about breaking it. I think I lost him. I lost him. Dang it. I lost. How did I lose him? Okay, we're going to go back over this area again. I really. Dang it. We'll pull this out. All right. Let me try this again. We're going to go back, do a pass here, sort of a semicircle over here. Oh, there's an osprey. There's an osprey. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Gotta watch the eagles. Ah, stay away. Go away. Go away, go away, go away. Stupid. You don't want to catch an eagle. You don't want to catch an eagle. I told you guys. We're going to let him fly. We're going to come over here again. and work this line again. So he's on to the west side of the lake. So we're going to work this line again and over to the buoy to where it says beware of rocks. And try not to catch. There's an osprey above us. He will dive on this bait. He will dive on it. Oh, there's a second osprey. No, 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 no. Go away. Go away. You don't want them. You don't want to catch an eagle. A seagull, piece of cake. An eagle? Not good. He'll dive on it. All right, we're working the same line again. And I know it's weird that I look up all the time, but when you're running a big swim bait like this on top of the water, it is so attractive to an eagle. We got one osprey to my left. The other one is over to my right. They have eagle eyes, so you got to sort of keep an eye on them because they're fast. They dive really fast. That's how they catch fish. They can ruin a perfectly good day of topwater fishing. So now we're still working this top water behind the boat here. Same area we just got to hit. And my ospreys seem to have flown away. There's about 14 ospreys at this lake, though. And so just because two came and went doesn't mean I won't get another dozen. And we have a nesting pair of bald eagles here too. So, and they just had their babies just fledged. So that we got two immature bald eagles too. So we just got to keep an eye out for them. Make sure I catch no eagles. No eagles. Well, do a search on my channel for osprey. You'll see the one we saved last year. Again, he was exhausted by the time we got to him, and I scooped him up in the net. He allowed me to hold him while Everett cut the line off, and it was really quite the experience. We were working in the marina, and somebody, way too big a bait for him. Um, and we got this phone call, and the guy panicked because an osprey dove on his bait and wrapped himself up in the line and sort of tied himself up in knots and was out in the water. So we took the boat out and we rescued him. It was very wonderful. Oh, there we go. There we go. We got one. We got one. Now we're bringing him in. Not a big one though. Not a big one. What'd I tell you? See, he's just a half pounder, not even. He's just, he bit off way more than he could chew on this. So that's it. Look at that. The bait is bigger than the fish. The bait's bigger than the fish. All right, so what is up with that? I mean, why do they even try? So we're going to pass over this area again. Let out some more line. And we're just going to work this line. It's a good line for bass. So, so little guy, smaller than my bait. I make him 6 inches. My bait's 7.5, so you can measure it against the bait. We've had 2 blow-ups. This is, well, it's a darn good bait. It really is. Was it Southeast Fishing, yeah. Brandon, he uses big baits all the time. And I've never been at a big bait. And that's all Brandon uses. I have one of his hard baits. It's hand carved. So we do a pass one way, catch a fish, pass the other way. And then we're going to go, along those buoys too, work those 2 buoys, and see what we can do there. So we're going to do about 100 yards, then we'll do a turn. In fact, we'll do a turn right here. You always increase speed a little bit, but you want that wake to stay on top of the water. It's got sort of a fin on the tail, like a dorsal fin, and that creates a splash. Really nice. It's a great design. Biggest bait I've ever fished with, and it is a killer. Really is. Little more. When you do a turn, you create a lot of slack. Till you don't, then you start feathering down your engine a little bit. And we're going to come back over here. We'll do a few pops. I'm using the Pissy Fun Spark Pro reel. It is a 8-to-1 ratio, which is good. I love 8-to-1s. And this is the Black Bayou. Yeah, Black Bayou series from Cajun Rods. This is a hand-rolled custom rod, medium heavy. I think it's more, for a reaction, I think it's more on the heavy side than medium heavy. Normally you would buy a medium heavy as your all-around rod. I wouldn't use this as an all-around rod. This is definitely for what I'm using it for. And this is more on the heavy side than it is on the medium heavy side. I have a Pissy Fun right here that says I bought it because it said it was an ultralight, but it's more of a medium light. So sometimes when you buy a rod, they'll claim one thing, but when you get it and use it, you'll actually see that it's a little off base on its claims. It doesn't make it a bad rod. It's just not what you bought. It's a good rod. I mean, that's a great rod. I love that Pissy Fun rod and this rod. So, so we're coming up to the no wake, and then we're going to sort of, oh, there we go again. There we go again. We got another one. We're going to surf him in because he's a little guy too. Definitely smaller than my bait. Crazy. Another one with an appetite bigger than his stomach in his mouth. You guys are something else. 3-prong hook job in your mouth too. You remove the prongs one at a time. Always give them a kiss and send them on their way. So they'll grow up and you can catch them another day. Um, so we're going to continue around to where it says to the rocks buoy, and hopefully we'll get a bigger fish over here. It is amazing these half pounders are hitting this thing. I mean, literally, they're not thinking. They ain't thinking. They're just hitting it because they're just stupid. So let's keep it going. We're going to run between these two buoys. There's really a good area right here between the buoys for the bass. I see some baby fledglings jumping out of the water because, we're on post spawn here. And I'm really hoping mom and dad are by. We'll get another fish. So we've landed 2 fish. We had 3 blowups on this bait, which is an absolute beauty of a bait. I'm going to buy more of these. They are very expensive, by the way. If you want me to paint you one of these baits, tell me. A $50 bait. This is a $50 bait. It is the most expensive bait you'll probably ever buy. But the beautiful thing is it floats and it's a topwater. So you're not going to lose it on brush underneath. But this is a $50 bait. I've thought about selling for 75. Because this is a blank from another company that sells their baits for $50, and they're not hand painted, not in the patterns that you want. So if let's say you want one and that looks like a rainbow trout or a German brown or sort of it's a long slender bait. So but let's say you want one that looks like a perch or something like that. Um, you know, just tell me, I'll paint it, send it to you. It's a great bait. I just can't tell you how good a bait this thing is. Uh, so we're going to sort of loop around these buoys here and then go back out. So we're just working this sort of like quarter circle arc, this arc right here. We're working. And this is only 7 feet deep here. What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? I know my lake. I know my lake. And I would recommend that for all you guys that like to fish. Take the closest lake to your house and learn it. Fish it all the time. Become the expert of that lake. You're like sort of like the the tournament pro at a golf course, and learn it. And always pick the closest lake typically because you'll fish it more often than you would a lake that you're not that close to. So, and hopefully it's not too big a lake. But if it is, great. Pick a section of that lake and really just focus on it. So this is the Danger Rocks buoy. We're passing it right now. This area right here is good too for big bass. So and it's far enough from the shore to where a person could shore fish this area. A lot of people though come to this lake and they want trout. And there's a lot of trout in it, but they're all farmed. They're all stock trout. Trout do not breed in this lake. All those old timers that say, "Oh, trout was originally the fish of this lake." Well, it wasn't. The first census was 1941, and they had already been stocking trout in this lake for decades. So nobody really knows what the original fish was in this lake. But I will tell you that both smallmouth and largemouth bass readily breed in this lake. You'll see them, the babies jumping up in the water all the time. So we're going to start doing a turn here, trying to keep that bait splashing on top of the water. See if we can't get a fish to bite it on the turn. Just going to keep working that bait right on top of the water while we make this turn. Go back and work this arc. And I'm just barely keeping it moving on top of the water. Right now we're in the worst spot on a turn. We're parallel with it, so but I've got my engine going a little faster, trying to keep that bait working. Almost, I want to get to this line over here. And now my bait's stalled, so we're going to zoom it along a bit. We got slack line right now. Slack line. So we don't want slack line. All right, now we're to that point to where it's getting behind us. We'll get that speed right. We're back to normal. Now we're coming up to the rock danger rocks buoy. We're just going to work this area here again, in between these buoys, and then out into the mouth of the bay. There's some good sized fish. There's one right there. We just went over. He's not a little guy. He's not a big guy either, but he's not a little guy. Let's see if we can get his attention. Do a couple pops. Get it to splash. Nice thing about 50-pound test, you can muscle it in. Surprised we haven't got a pop on it over here. Okay, we'll head back out to the mouth. This is a really good arc to fish. It's a decent one, probably a 2-pounder maybe on my fish finder. Should be passing it pretty quick. Should be past the fish fast. So the no wake buoy, and then this is my marker to start to make a. I'll tell you, these baby bass are jumping out of the water like crazy right. There's a ton of them. Okay, now we're gonna start making our turn a little bit. We're trolling really slow because I want that. This wake bait can dive. I don't want it to dive. I want it to stay on top of the water and splash. The whole point of what's called a wake bait. Oh, I think that was a baby getting it. I don't want a baby. Have, I want a personal best. I think this bait can give it. Water is 69 degrees. If you're wondering, we're in 11 feet of water at the moment. Had three hits over here in this section. Two landed. See if we can coax a big one. Very nice. Occasional pop. There's that breakfast skin. I can smell it. Campers will drive you nuts. Cooking their breakfast. Ah, think about this for a second. It's quiet. Hear the water. A few voices. The smell of bacon. Eagles overhead. And fish jumping out of the water hitting your bait. You tell me if that ain't the good life right there. I mean, just a moment in life you want to keep. Okay, so now we're going to do another turn. We do have some fish right here, so we're just going to just cast over. So we're going to head into the bay a little bit. Some good fish in the bay. So, but some boats wait. Yeah, I see there's fish down here. Coax them out. There's an osprey. Really don't want him to see it. Oh, he okay. He dove on. You have to look up when you're using topwater stuff. I lost my bacon smell now. I'm smelling wood. Oh, that osprey got his catch. Kind of weighed down. Stay away from me, buddy. Fishing his talons. He's not paying attention to me. one of our regulars. Coming in a bit on the bay, so there's a line of vegetation I kind of want to run this thing over the top of. I love when people say, "Oh, I caught a 4 pounder." You know, they don't even weigh it. They just look at a big old hefty 2.5 pounder and say, "Oh, it's 4 pounder." I have a scale, so if I see something that I think is close to my PB, then we will measure it and put it back in the water. So come over here. There's a few fish. Right behind us. So I don't know if you can see. My fat belly's probably blocking your view. So now we're going to turn and work this line here. If I work really close to the shore, we can pick up some bass, but not a big one. And I would definitely go over to one of my other rods to work the shoreline. Um, we can do that. We could pull this one in. We can work it later. Um, so we're going to sort of get closer to the shoreline. There's some good vegetation right along the shoreline here that will produce us a few results here. So nothing promising is something big. These are going to be 1 pounders if we get that. So we're going to work the shoreline with another topwater bait, a wake bait, one that I painted. It's my German brown pattern, although it looks more like a bumblebee, when I'm using like a big giant bumblebee flailing on the water. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to work the shoreline just because we're here. That's what we want to do. We just want to catch small fish, right? So we're going to use this bait uh, on my ultralight spinning rod. It also is a top water, it is a wake bait. And we're going to use this one. So now the fish are right along the shoreline. We're talking feet from the shoreline. So we're just going to work that. I'm going to put the motor on one and just sort of work this shoreline. I see some babies jumping over here. That means there was a spawn over here. And I mean, I cast only a couple feet off of the shore. And there's dirt 2 feet from where my bait lands. And you just want to reel it in to create a wake. Nothing fancy. You need to pop it every once in a while. Right. There. Trees blocking the sun. Oh, there we go. We got one. We got one. What'd I tell you? You always catch a few off the shore. Oh, that was a smallmouth. He fell off right at the boat, so that was fun. Let's get another smallie. Smallmouths are the more fun fish to catch. The big bite's so good. Just want to create nothing crazy. I think it's tied up on itself. It bowed up on itself. So yeah, it did. So it wasn't making a wake. See if I can get you guys to look over there. This is the shoreline. I'm used to catching smallmouths over here. Smallmouths, I usually work the east side a little bit and a lot of it. You see where my bait went in? It's right off the beach. Remember, I've taught you guys that, see the babies just jumping? That was about a half pound, maybe, one that I just hooked. Saved me the trouble of popping it off the hook, but you guys didn't see it, so sorry. Oh, it's not where I wanted to cast it, but it's not a bad cast. Always work your cast. For all you know, that was a fish right where it went. So you just don't know. Even though it wasn't where I wanted to put it. Up on itself again. It is. Sometimes a bad cast. And this line is wrapped up around the pole a little bit. Found it. There we go. Okay. Feels good. There. All right. We want to go right there. So that's where I wanted to cast it the first time. Right along that log there. Those two trees. Watch the water. I'm gonna pop it. Yeah, so you can see where it is. Again, notice the wake it creates, just a nice V. That's what you want with a wake bait. Just create a nice V. If you're pushing it faster than that, then you're pushing the bait too fast. It's not doing its job. See the babies jumping over here. Go to the sandy portion where those beach chairs are. Oh, that was pretty much on the beach. I think it got like 5 inches from the dirt. Couple pops, so you can see where it is. Travel this shoreline a bit. Some good vegetation over here too, so. You really don't want to hit the shore. Blind right here. There, now I can see again. Watch the pop, and I'll do a couple pops so you guys can see the bait, where it is in the water. Pause here again. Those bushes along the lake right there. Really a very good spot. There we go. This is my most successful wake bait, finesse wake bait I've ever had. So really good bait. This lake loves it. Between those logs. That's where I wanted it. Sometimes I wonder if I'm going to catch a tree. I did that Saturday. I mean, a little bit too far. It was a branch. It was so hanging over. Caught the branch. Travel this a little. See where I'm casting. Right along the shoreline. Fish are ambush predators, so they wade in the deeper water for something to swim over them. That's why boat fishing is more successful than shore fishing. This is too shallow to use my cross, so if I were doing this. We'll make our way over to the lily pads too, so see if we can get a good lily pad bust. This boat here. And I can catch it, my motor on his tie line there. Anchor line. We want to pay marina fees, so they do this. People just leave their toys on the. I wouldn't do that. I'm sorry, guys. I know. I mean, I couldn't leave my gear on the side. Maybe I just pay a heck of a lot more than they do for my gear. I care more about it. Oh, there we go. We got one. We got one. We got one. There we go. Here we go. Come on, baby. It's a smallmouth. I know. Oh, you get. This is really light line, so you just gotta let him tire out underneath your boat here. Oh, it's a smallmouth. There he is. So, biggest one we've caught today, actually, even on my smallest bait. That's not my smallest bait, but nonetheless, nice little smallmouth. Gotta give him a kiss. Aren't they beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? You're a pretty fish. All right. Oh, there you go. Let's see if we can get another one over here. Oh my God, that's a perfect catch. 2 more inches, I would have been in that bush. 2 more inches, I would have been in that. Let me pop it for you guys so you can see it. There it is. Never try to overstrength your line. And uh, this is 6 pound test on this, I think, 4 or 6. One, two. I think this one's 4 pounds. And just tire the fish out, you know, until it allows you to pull them up. Yeah, with the 50 pound test, I can surf them in, but with this, you can't. You just gotta just tire them out. You'll be fine. You release them. Go to the other side of the swim area. I like that when I do topwater, I keep the tip way up, keeps the nose of the bait up, doesn't allow it to dive. Again, you want the bait to hit the surface of the water and agitate the top of the water. But for the bass, we have Western gulls here, so we're going to go around this big swim area. On the other side of this little area, and then we'll be at the lily pad. I've caught some nice sized bass just over here. So you just never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolate. On my fish, you just never know what you're going to get. Now I'll switch over to my medium rod for frogs. And the reason it's so light, it will not tire my wrist out. Popping the frogs and walking them on top of the lily pads. So a lot of wrist work, and when you work top water, especially on lily pads, or you use a spook. I mean, you're doing this all the time, so it's like a lot of wrist work. So the rod has everything to do with you know fatigue. And he's just going to come over here. We're going to cast a few times over to these bushes, and we're going to check that out. Jump behind me, just a baby, and we're going to work this shoreline a little bit. It's a really good shoreline. You'll see. It's a real good shoreline. So there's good cover here, and a little bit of vegetation on the bottom, but the smallies love this area too. So, and the largemouth, so they sort of mix here. Straighten my boat out. Got the wrong line going. That's amazing. I mean, this lake is a good swim lake. Water right now, so in the morning. So you work the swim beaches before people get in them. And sometimes I even fish around the swimmers because the fish, I mean, the bass like noise. They like the commotion. So sometimes you can catch a nice bass 10 feet from somebody. That freaks them out. Gets a big wow moment from them. Over here to the edge, the cubby here. And let's see if we can't get something. I have to put the auxiliary battery on my phone because I didn't charge it last night. So, but I do have an auxiliary battery. Lily pads right in front of us. We're going to work those with some frogs. Toad thumpers. You ever want the best hollow body? Buy Toad Thumper. It's an American company, but it's Chinese made, of course. I don't think there's a hollow body that is American made. One of the reasons I stopped being an ambassador for Dark Horse Tackle. Because they used to say crafted in the USA, but then they went away from that. You know. All right, after this cast, we're going to go over to lily pads and work those. Okay, off to the lily pads, guys. It's right next to us, actually. I'm going to take this rod and take this bait off. This has 20-pound test on it. And I found that 20-pound test is really good also for this. So that's, I mean, even though my other rod's got 50-pound, but this is a much lighter rod. So I like working the bait with this rod better than I do the other one. So we're going to put a battery on the phone. There we go. There we go. And this way we don't run out of power. And I want my top water box. I know, little boxes. Go bigger. Beat the deal. I couldn't beat the deal. It was a $45 bag with boxes I got for 12 bucks. Tell me, you wouldn't have done it? Yeah, you would have done it. Okay. This is such a light pole. It really is. All right, so we're going to turn you guys out here. Hopefully, we see a nice catch. Good explode, good pop up, good explosion. That'd be great. We may have to anchor, but I don't think I want to anchor here. I'm going to anchor a little farther. So I could work this area from another angle. We're getting a little bit of a current. I saw one break surface down there. So sometimes they're right along the edge. Sometimes right in the middle. I mean, you just don't know. This water is actually 6 feet deep, believe it or not, here. Can you believe that? Lily pads in 6 feet of water. Hard to see with the sun, but we're working. Just pop it. Just work that. And like I told you guys the other day, hold back the instinct to set the hook immediately. Take a breath and then set the hook. But do not set the hook right away. And always create just enough slack where that hook will be swallowed. So we're going to leave that there for a second. Drop anchor here. Here. Oh, that's a duck. Thought I saw a bass jump for a duck. Which way my boat's going to end up. You won't be able to see it. Let's see, you guys. Oh, that was a little bit of a pop-up explosion. This little guy went for it right when I turned you. You guys can see those ducks in the middle. They're gonna be curious about my bait. This is one of my favorite rods. Fortunately, it was retrieved from the bottom of the lake. Little pop up there, half pounder. A lot of guys will drop shot right along the rim here. There's a few under here. We'll figure it out. See this one. This one go left. That is right. Keeps moving on. This in, we're gonna grab the black one. Chartreuse highlights. Kind of crazy looking, I know. Yeah, that's what this one is. What the heck? What am I doing? I don't know that camera. All right, let's go over here. This is a walking bait, so this one, oh dang it, they're right in front of us. Right in front of us, I know. I'm working. Here. Oh, did you see him? Just a little guy. He jumped up. See, do a little pausing. Instead of constant retrieve. Pause it. It is very deep. Air breaking surface. So, I'm gonna catch one of these. They're just sitting here. Oh, small little blow up. Oh, there he goes again. Oh, there he goes. Oh, missed him. Dang it. Don't get too excited, Mike. Don't get too excited. 3 shots to hit that. It's hitting it on the pause. Wasn't a very big one. Would have been fun to catch. You gotta have pretty much a buck. Let's see where this line here in front of the camera. Right on the edge here. Let's see what we can get. Catch a little guy with this. We could try punching it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try punching. So what we'll do, change strategies here just a little bit. Because I see fish in here and I want one. So we're going to change strategies. We're going to go to a jig. It's really important to have a really good weedless and one that's heavy enough to punch through. So you just got to have a real heavy jig. Like, well, it's a chatterbait. It's heavy though. Oh, here. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. So this is a really heavy jig. And we need, gotta add something in here. Remember, I switched all my tackle over to other stuff, so we need something. This will work. Long, so I can make it weedless. So this is a ribbon tail. It's like about a 9-inch ribbon tail. So we're going to pop it through the top about a 1/4 inch, and we're going to run that around like this. So now it's sort of hanging there. But now I want to make it weedless. So I'm going to run the worm like this and mark it with my fingers and push the hook through it right where my fingers are, just like that. So it looks just like that. So, and then I'm going to tuck that tip of the point into the worm. So now it's completely weedless. So now I have a very heavy weedless bait. Now what I want to do too, I want to try this. I'm going to put a little cross scent on it. I never really smelled a craw. We're going to put some cross scent on it. It says it's cross scent, so we're going to put some of this on it. And we're just going to punch it. And it's going to punch right through, just like that. And if you don't retrieve, the bait really fast. You want it just sort of, oh, there we go. Oh, we had one. Oh, that was it. You're just going to pull it through just really slowly, real slow. You want it to glide along the stalks of the weeds. Cut some weeds, so that bite probably loosened our hook a bit. No, it still looks really good. So try to cast it over there again. We'll punch it. Right along the edge. And we're basically sort of walking it on the bottom. Kind of like a Ned jig, because the way this is a swivel-headed weight on that extra wide gap hook. This is a 5/0 hook, by the way. Just gonna walk it right along. Get that ribbon tail to move a little bit. Still buried. Still buried. We resorted to punching through. I mean, it is 6 feet deep. I mean, it's crazy deep for a lily pad area. Got some weeds. Crazy deep. Stupid fish. Right in front of me. Can't get his attention. See if we can get his attention. Oop, something hit it. There's something down there. Oop, there he goes again. Sorry. I know. Really short cast. Get tangled up a little. Where's the wing? Head of this is actually really bulbous and it's catching the weeds. Yeah, you go straight braid too to this. Well, it doesn't really matter too much. And oh, it is. There it is. Come on. Why do I keep right? Oh, he's right. Oh, there he goes. Oh, do I have him? No. Dang it. At least my hook. Wait, so let's put a little bit more scent on it. Seems to work. Let's try it again. It's probably not a very big fish. Little. There. Come on. Bite. Uh, all right, good. We're losing precious time for topwater fishing, so go back out there and run the big bait again. Get some over here. Try one more over the left here. You guys are all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm gonna run the line right here on this. Here we'll go back up. We gotta work the craw. All right, guys. Hey, a few bites, a few blow-ups. What? Top water, punching it. Punching it seemed to work best here today, but it didn't work. And I was just getting smaller ones hitting it. Really want a personal best. And usually lily pads are a pretty good spot. Try to catch a big one. Didn't work today. It's all right. Keep the hook and the hook keeper. All right. Gotta pull up the anchor. Hit movement. Always got a lot of stuff on it. Going out here to vegetation. I want to try this craw again. We haven't got anything big on it or substantial of size, but I got this craw stuff, sent just for this bait. So here we go. We go out here to where there's vegetation. We're going to put this right along the back of this. This stuff's like Vaseline, There's fire gel. It works. Pretty affordable and it lasts a long time. So get out here to the vegetation. This is a very slow retrieve bait. Really slow retrieve. See what I can find out. There's a few fish. These are small ones. From there. All right, let's see what we can get out on this craw. Like I said, this craw is a really slow moving one. Fouled up on it. So this gel is so thick, it causes it to do crazy things. You got to be very specific where you put it. Now this thing, you just sort of retrieve it real slow. A couple little light twitches with it. This thing dives to about 7 feet. We're in 9 feet of water, so we need to get out. really in thick weeds. I don't really want that. There it is. There. I need to go more left. I'm gonna drag this behind it. The slowest troll that I could do. Just until I find that little forest. Take a while to get there. Moving so slow. It's gotta be here somewhere. Right, that's about right. It feels good. This is ultralight. It's my BFS setup. It's a casting reel that set up. Suspense kill. Suspense kills you. That was a hit. See a hit goes boom and tug. That's this. Oh, he's filthy different. Tug. You have to remember, 4 pound. Let it play. Let it run. Set the hook and let it run. Your line tight. And a little bit of a headwind now, which changes our speed. Cuts our speed by about 45% or so. But that's good. On this particular bait, I want it to run speed. Still haven't found the vegetation. Right now, the wind keeps blowing me a little bit. Just say breeze. They're not saying forest. Fish finder saw a few bushes. I thought I got a little excited. There's vegetation. Best. Those are tugs. That's grass. They should be riding my foot on bottom right now. Or bait, go deeper. Just put your tip in. Shallower, tip straight up. So that line on my big bass line. So we might just go back to my bigger bait here pretty soon. Man, the lake is so much deeper. I'm so used to it. This vegetation to be a little bit more visible. Yes, yeah, it's good to do that just clean. Break out the beast. Here. Or got something. That's it. Let's see what he pulls out. He's further enough out here. I ain't gonna bother you. Here's all my big guy. This big guy again. And the buoy marker, we're still well in for the buoy. Keep an eye on it. buoy marker is not eagle. Sometimes I gotta pop it to see where it's at. I think 2 is still my speed that's loaded. Got 8 feet of water here.